Hi everybody, it's Mark Hanna, Hothead Thundermouth here, coming to you unscripted, uncensored, unapologetic, and psychologically immune. Listen carefully, psychologically immune from social media scoring or control. That last point that I make, I want to emphasize this because people seem not to understand what that means. So, the two parts of this video. First of all, what I think about hiding behind screen names. I don't care if people have fake screen names, but I don't like it if they hide behind them and shield their identity and then come in and act like rude people. This is what happens in forums all the time. People all have these cutesy screen names. I get it. I have them too. I always made sure people knew my real name as well. My real name had to be in there, and I really respect people who have their real names there, and I don't have as much respect if you don't. This is because I think you can't be a genuine person successfully if you're hiding behind a screen name. Now, are there reasons to have an alias? Sure. If you're in danger from, and you need some protection from terrorists or something, or if you're on the witness protection program and you're in danger of losing your life and critical situations like this, yeah, you need a different identity to hide yourself. But in chat rooms, BGG or Game Squad or my channel, you don't need that. So if you come in here, and I know your preferred screen name and I recognize who you are, it's no problem at all. Some people come in here, they have other channels that I watch, so I know what their names are. Other people identify themselves if I ask them. Now, if you come in here and make a rude remark, and I'm going to show you an example of one, and then decide not to share your real name anyway after I've asked, then after that, this is where my policy of censor-freeness goes away. I will delete your posts after that until you come in and tell me your real name. If you don't want to have a real name in here, then play nice in the sandbox on this channel. That's all I ask. So, that's the intro to the first part of this video. The second part I'm going to get into right now. Psychological immunity to social media scoring. This does not mean that I'm immune to social media or the effects of it. If someone comes in and complains about a video or something and they report me to YouTube, YouTube might dink my video, they might deplatform my, usually they cut off your funding first. There are consequences. I'm not immune to the consequences of such things. I'm referring to the psychology of being immune to this. And where do I get this? This is worth explaining to you. I don't know if you, it's not his nose. This is Viktor Frankl. He was a pretty famous psychologist. He's a Jew. He could not hide who his identity was. He had a tattoo explaining exactly what his inmate number was in one of the concentration camps. He managed to survive the concentration camps, and we all know that many did not. But one of the things he realized as he had time to contemplate these things, as his death was imminent or appeared to be imminent at any time, he realized something, that even though he could be beat up by security guards, he could be interrogated, he could be tortured, and of course even killed, what he realized was this, and this is a fundamental truth that everybody should realize, and it's this: everything can be taken from a man being generic, man or woman, but the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances, cannot be taken. So, that is how I address this, by saying I'm psychologically immune. My attitude will not change regardless of who likes me, who doesn't like me, if I get thumbs, if I don't. I'll be genuine. People will know my name and you'll know who I am. And that's the way I approach this. So, psychological immunity comes from being genuine. This is the part of using a fake screen name to hide your true identity to come in and troll the channel. If you're going to do that, you're not being genuine. So you yourself, whoever you are not psychologically immune to social media control. In fact, you're quite dependent upon it. And that's exactly what I am not. Let me give you an example here of this. And first I'm going to say that I recorded this video a couple times in a different light. And I was describing people who do this. There's a definition of a word in English here. Do not take offense. It's a real word. It's called douchebag. This is typically a feminine hygiene device. Generally speaking, douches are used for females. Now, in the United States, though, this is a slang for an obnoxious, offensive, and or disgusting person. Now, in general, I don't use this for people who are offensive or disgusting. And in this case, the example I'm going to give you is purely obnoxious. Don't have anything better to do. They come into the channel. You see this all the time if you've ever been in chat rooms or forums. There are just some people who like to pick nits. And in fact, that's actually okay. I don't mind. I happen to know that this is something that people do. And guys do it to each other all the time. They'll call each other douchebags, fools, idiots. But this is among people who know they are. This is among men or friends or people who know who the other person is. It's not some anonymous guy beside some anonymous, ridiculous screen name. And then that person will not reveal who they are. Apparently they're too important to do that. They can't come down. They can only hurl insults from the mountain. They don't want to come down the mountain and actually play the real game. So, douchebags. What are examples of some douchebags? Well, here's some political douchebags. All right. These are people I would never trust with my life, and I think they're obnoxious and possibly disgusting. But these aren't the people who come to my channel to complain. It was somebody else. This, folks, is a real douchebag. So, there's this person here. I've got these examples here. I tried to block out the name. Originally, I was going to show the name, but I thought I'd be calling this person out a little bit too much. I did ask this person to come in to explain himself. First thing he said, so to get you the background here, I'm unapologetic, so I'm going to, full disclosure here. The first thing the guy comes out with is, what other things do you whine about? So that's obnoxious. I'm not whining in this channel. I'm making observations about critical issues, such as skulking in ASL, and proposing solutions, finding solutions and play testing them. What are you doing, Mr. Syringe? That's what I'm going to call you. Since I blocked out your screen name, we'll just call you Syringe. So what are you doing, Syringe? What are you coming in here telling me what I should be doing? Actually, he does make a good proposal here. You should find another actual rule. Well, I suppose skulking isn't an actual rule. It's an actual technique which should have a rule preventing it. But I guess he comes in and says, hey, you know what, wire kind of overlaps other hexes, and he thinks I should be complaining about that. First of all, I wouldn't complain. I would identify and then offer a solution, which, Mr. Syringe, you are not doing. All right? So you apparently don't like that rule. Fine. What's your solution? Come back in here. Tell us your real name, of course. That is now mandatory for you if you're going to do something on my channel. The skulking horse is dead. He says that the skulking horse is dead. No, it's not dead. There are many people who responded to my video in a positive way about the skulking issue. There's a lot of people who don't like it. It is also not a very realistic tactic. Let's not get into this stupid ASL is only a game. It's not just a game. It's a game intended to emulate the idea of combat in World War II. And that's one of the things they did not do was play musical chairs behind the buildings to pretend that they weren't in the building, then go back in when they knew it was time. It's not something they did, right? So that's the whole point about skulking. Uh, Vehicle bypass movement is another rule that needs to be looked at. But again, they call it VBM freeze. It's not actually a rule, but it's a technique. These are techniques that are due to the way the rules are written. Okay, so I answered him. And as I said, full disclosure, what I said is that my favorite wine is about, actually I had to use some bad language here. My favorite wine about is dumbass donkeys, dumbass donkeys. That's kind of a double hit there. Donkey, in some parts of the world is also an ass. And also considered to be a dumbass if you call somebody a donkey. So my favorite wine is about dumbasses who hide behind fake screen names thinking that their silly, rude opinions matter to anyone. Now, of course, their silly, rude opinion probably matters to them. Whatever effect they thought it would have upon this channel and me certainly wasn't intended to be a polite one. It was considered, obviously, a denigrating approach to the channel. Again, if you want to come in here and mock me, fine. Come in here with your real screen name, dude, Mr. Syringe, and let's have at it. I have no problem with that, but I'm not going to have an argument with somebody behind a fake screen name. I have no respect for you. I don't think you're genuine, and you're not psychologically immune to any kind of social media or any other control. Okay, you're not actually as free as you could be if you were just step up to the plate and be real. Be real. All right, so then I said, if you want to come in here, you have to give me your screen name. And if you did that, to complain about this channel, you'd have to do that. And the adult thing to do would be to come in with your real name. And then I threw this out. I said, go check with your mom and ask her if you can say your real name. All right? I don't think this individual needs to check with his or her mom. I think they're a full-grown adult, but what they should do is act like one. And then, if they really play ASL, their name will be on the ASLratings.org if they actually play the game and play in tournaments. You're required to register in there with a real name. So that's how I can verify if somebody's really playing ASL and they're really a person who cares about ASL. Now, I happen to know from previous interactions, I think I know who this person is. And I've had a conversation or two with this individual, and I wasn't too impressed. You can always tell when somebody is more interested in the sound of their own voice than they are interested in actually having a dialogue about something. But anyway, then he came back in with this comment being, I am so glad that you are immune to social media, LOL. So what this means is that Mr. Syringe didn't understand a single thing about what I meant, or didn't ask about it, but made an incorrect assumption about what it meant. Nobody is immune to social media if they intend to participate in it. The only way to be immune to it, probably, is to not participate in it, and then make sure you're not noticed by it. Okay, but even then, that's not guaranteed. Things can happen and you'll be picked up by social media anyway. So what I said was, I'm psychologically immune to social media control. That's what I'm saying. And scoring. That's what I'm saying. If you're glad about that, thank you. I don't think that's what you meant, though. I don't think that you meant that snide little remark in any sort of positive way, Mr. Syringe. So, anyway, so I had to delete that, and that's my policy. If you come in here and act sort of like a syringe, then you get the heave-ho treatment. And I guess you could call that censoring somebody if they come in and make a comment. But this individual and any individuals are free to come in and complain all they want and say anything they want. But you better come in here prepared to present your real name, or you'll get this same kind of response, and I will not apologize for it. And if I take heat from social media because I won't do that, that's what's going to happen. Right. So that kind of sums up the whole situation. Two issues: what I mean by immunity from social media control and scoring, and secondly, what I think about douchebags who act like this. So that's it. Basically, you know, we have certain trends and tendencies in society these days that undermine the fabric of society. Um, Here, these are termite worms or larvae. What they do is they make their statement by digging into wood and trying to destroy it. Um, and again, you can make the argument that uh, this can strengthen something too. Um, I'm not immune to, and I welcome criticism of this channel as long as I know who I'm talking to. But if you're like one of these little maggots, okay, I'm not really going to be that interested. Just fair warning to you guys. So if you don't want to be treated like this, or like this guy should have always been treated, then don't be like this. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening. If you like this, please hit the subscribe button or the thumb or whatever you want to do. If you didn't like it and you listened to this whole thing, thanks for listening. I'll see you later. Bye for now.